today I thought I'd do a YouTube video on my fitness journey, and I touched on it in my first video, or my first YouTube video I did, but I didn't really get that into it, and I thought it'd be interesting for you all to know a little bit more about mine. I know a few people asked, and I just think it's nice to hear about other people's fitness journeys, not to compare to your own necessarily, but just to know that everyone's look different, and most of them, if not every single one of them, are not just like an uphill journey. You know, you go up, you go down, there's bumps along the way, and I think it's just nice to know that. So yeah, if you want to know about mine, you can keep watching. If not, you can skedaddle. I did write up some notes for mine because it has been quite a few years in the making. Okay, so starting from the very beginning, growing up I was pretty athletic. I played soccer, basketball, volleyball. I was always running around doing fun things, and I was definitely very competitive growing up. I didn't start being like body conscious, not body conscious, but like self-conscious of my body until probably around 4th grade, which I feel like is kind of early, but also not that early for girls. And I was also competitive in the fact that I wanted to be like the most liked, the prettiest, whatever else not, like the smartest, which is also called perfectionism. Yeah, I've been working on that. So I was definitely competitive in a lot of senses, and that's carried over till now, but I think I've worked on it a lot, and it's a lot better now. Growing up, my family always ate pretty healthy, and it was like decently balanced. We would have vegetables like meat, potatoes, but we would also have junk food and cake and ice cream. Ice cream was, I would definitely come home from school and eat like bowls of ice cream. Bowls, big bowls. I was like surrounded by good influences. My family was relatively healthy. I definitely benefited from being raised in that environment because your environment has a lot to do with how you develop, and I grew up like liking vegetables and knowing how to cook basic meals and how to set up a meal. So that was very helpful. Back to grade school, still in the very beginning of my fitness journey. But definitely in like 7th and 8th grade, I started being very like self-conscious of my body, like a lot more than 5th and 6th grade. And I also remember one comment in particular was that this guy had called me manly to his friends, and it's fine dude now, but that stuck with me. Like, you don't realize how little comments can affect a girl's self-esteem so much. And like back then, there's no reason to call me manly, the fuck. I honestly still think like that has still stayed with me today and affected me in negative ways, especially now I'm like all muscly, but it's like, yeah, muscles are cool, but I don't want to be manly, right? That definitely got to me, not because of that comment, but just in general. I tried to eat as healthily as I could. I looked up online like different ways to be healthy, different detoxes, started putting like lemon in my water, and I remember doing in like 8th grade and stuff, like I wanted to lose weight for graduation. 8th grade graduation. I definitely tried a veggie cleanse where you only eat vegetables for like 2 days. Just weird stuff like that I would find on the internet. It was never like anything horrible, but I would just go back to eating regularly, if not eating more junk and stuff after that. Moving on to high school, I went to an all-girls school. There was no reason to be self-conscious of my body because we were just like in baggy ass sweatshirts, just rolled out of bed, no makeup on, everyone looks like a trash bag, we all look the same. Yeah, I was still very self-conscious in high school, as is like pretty much every single other person in high school. I played field hockey, track. Those are the only 2 things I played, actually. I don't know why I need my fingers. But I did 2 years of track, and then I did 4 years of field hockey, and I absolutely loved field hockey, and I definitely kept in shape through like summer conditioning through the fall season. After the fall season, you know, you're on winter break and you're not moving around, then we have spring. During that time, I would try to stay fit, stay skinny by just like doing body weight exercises in my basement, which our basement is not a fun place to be. My basement, not ours. But it's like dirty and cluttered, and I would have to like shove things out of the way to make room for me to like squat. I was really just very self-conscious, and I wanted to stay in shape for field hockey, but really I was also really worried about my body changing. I was afraid of getting fat, and I definitely tried other methods of losing weight. I also tried like weird diets again, like the military diet. If you don't know what the military diet is, it's another weird internet fad diet that basically you eat like the diet for 3 days and then you just eat normally again for 4 days and do it again. I think I only did 1 round of this though, because I was like, honestly, what the fuck is this diet? This is one of the days of the military diet. For breakfast, you have 1 slice of toast with 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, half a grapefruit, and a cup of coffee or tea. For lunch, you have a slice of toast, half a cup of tuna, half a cup of tuna, and a cup of coffee again. You are just surviving on caffeine here. Then for dinner, you have a 3-ounce serving of meat with a cup of green beans, a small apple, half a banana, and 1 cup of vanilla ice cream. Now, it depends on what ice cream you get, but like I kind of did the math, and roughly that would probably be about 900 calories a day. My athletic, high school, lean, muscular body needs more than 900 calories a day. Anyways, I would try weird stuff like that, and I definitely did more than the veggie cleanse and the military diet. After I started doing those, in probably mid-sophomore year of high school, I started doing a little bit more research online and just a little bit more of like how to lose weight healthily and how to eat healthily. And I started like a food journal, which could potentially be good. You know, food journals are a fantastic way to find out what you're eating, what your caloric intake usually is. But what I was doing was just not healthy. I would go through periods of time where I would write every day, but then I would stop, and then for like a month, and then I would start again. Then I would stop, and then I would start. And honestly, that continued till my senior year of high school. So from sophomore year to senior year, I was doing that on and off. But what I would do is I would write every single thing that I ate down, add it up. Sophomore and junior year, my aim was 1,200 calories. And then like senior year, I think I upped it more because I started getting a little bit smarter. But I would tally up the calories, and then I would do a little review of my day. I would write out my workout that I did, and I'd be like, wow, Eileen, like good job. You did great today. You only ate 900 calories. Like, oh, fantastic. You really did slip up at the end though when you ate 2 Oreos. Oh, and that bite of the brownie? Wow, you really fucked up. You should probably do better tomorrow. Okay, it wasn't quite as harsh, but it was pretty close to that, okay? I wish I had the journal. It's at my house right now in Cincinnati, and I can't get it, but I wanted to make this video. But there are some harsh entries in there. I read that journal this summer, and it made me so sad. I can't believe I was talking to myself like that. It was just not a good way or mindset to be in, and I'm so glad I've evolved from that, but I was stuck in that for a long time. So I think keeping a food journal is what led to my binge eating disorder, and because I was restricting myself and encouraging myself to eat really low calories, I was hungry all the time, and then I would binge or just overeat is what I was doing. I was overeating, which is normal, especially when you're restricting yourself. You know, your body is afraid that you're gonna go starve yourself, so it wants more food, and then you're gonna be thinking about food the whole time, and it's a whole cycle. Before the beginning of each school year in high school, I would try to lose 5 pounds. I continued that into my freshman year of college, and it worked. I usually always would, but whether that was water weight or fat loss, probably water weight because I didn't know the difference, but I would just like force myself to run and do stuff that I didn't like doing, and I would try to eat really clean, which is fine, but you don't need to only eat vegetables and like chicken and rice to lose weight. But I didn't know that. During high school and like 8th grade and middle school, I really idolized girls with like thigh gaps, with skinny arms, thin waists, big boobs. I made a inspo board, or a fitspo board, that fitness inspiration, but most of it was just really skinny girls. And I look back at it now, I'm like, these girls were very, very tiny, and it just genetically, I was not going to ever be that tiny. Like my hips and whatnot, it just was not going to work. And towards the end of high school, like junior and senior year, I kind of started getting more into like, ooh, these girls have like muscles, like I want muscles, a little bit more of a hard look, and I felt like that was more achievable for me because I had always been athletic and muscular looking. I had like an inspo board that I put right next to my bed, full of pictures of like these girls and motivational quotes. I was really big onto those. I still love those. So it's full of motivational quotes and pictures of these girls. What really struck me one day was, I think like senior year of high school, my friend was over and she was looking at it and she was like, Aileen, you look better than all these girls. The only difference is that they have boobs. And like when she said that, I looked at it, I was like, holy sh, that is a revelation I never thought of, but you're kind of right. I guess I just want boobs. You don't realize until someone else has like an outside perspective that your thoughts and beliefs are just really skewed and they're not reality. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. But I took that shit down. I was like, I don't need to be looking at this and making myself feel bad every single day when I wake up. So coming to OSU, I was super excited. Leaving high school, I had a pretty like regimented food habits, or I knew what I liked eating healthy wise, and so I definitely looked for that when I was looking for colleges, because I went into some college cafeterias and I was like, no, I cannot eat here. Like, I'm not picky, but when it comes to that, I was like, I'm going to be living here, I'm going to be eating this every day. Like, no, this is not gonna cut it. And I came to OSU and I saw their salad bar and I was like, they know. But yeah, OSU's great. Their dining facilities are top-notch. It was one of the main reasons that I chose the school, which sounds silly, but like it would have really affected me if I had a really limited choice of what I could eat every day. I came to OSU though. OSU has like 5 gyms. I don't know, I don't want to count right now. And I had never been in a gym. So coming to OSU and going to like the RPAC, which is like one of the biggest gyms, or at least like the best college gym, and it's beautiful and it's fantastic, but it's very overwhelming and you don't know where to go, and there's like 5 levels and there's so many windows and so many people, and they're all older when you're freshmen, and so it's just very intimidating. What I would do is I would go up to like a little hallway that not as many people were there, just go to my corner, get a mat, and I would do my abs and I would do my body weight exercises. And so I did that for a bit. It was fine, but after a while it just like was not cutting it, and I just like really didn't want to go. I found Alexa Jean Fitness or something. I bought her guide. I had like followed her on Instagram for a while, and she still had that like small frame that I really longed for, and it was mostly just abs and body weight work again. It was good and it was nice to have a program to follow. I was not seeing any results. I felt like I was not as athletic anymore. I felt like I had gained some fat. I was drinking and just eating, and I really didn't gain that much fat, but I gained a little bit and I lost some muscle, and it really like got to my head. Especially in the winter, like I felt like I was dragging my butt to the gym, and I felt like if I didn't go to the gym every single day, I was going to gain weight and I was going to get fat. And that's a terrible way to live. I would try to go 6 to 7 days a week. It was just a rough time. Then over winter break of freshman year, I met my ex-boyfriend, and he was a wrestler. He was really into lifting. His dad was an NFL strength and conditioning coach, and his mom was a coach as well. So he had like a great background of strength and conditioning to teach me. I had been following a few people like Grace Beverly and just plenty of other fitness accounts that had inspired me to get into the gym and start lifting weights, but it was just so intimidating going down to the weight room, and I don't want to look like an absolute fool down there. So it was a complete blessing that my ex was able to help me get started with the weightlifting. It was amazing because we would go to his gym. We went a few times, not that many, but enough to like help me understand what I needed to do. He just taught me like squat with a bar on my back, do some rows, do some presses. Because I was not a beginner and I've always kind of been athletic and did conditioning and stuff, I did know how to do some of the moves that we were doing, just not with weight. So like I could squat, but I had never squatted with a weight before. And so it was definitely different with a bar on my back or doing rows or overhead presses. That was very, very helpful to have someone there being like, oh, like turn your elbow out a little bit more. Or you want to make sure, you know, you're pulling the bar down into your back. You want to keep your head like in line with your spine. Just like little tips like that to really give you like in-person feedback at that moment was so helpful. And then back to school, back to the gym. So I've been lifting for 3 full years, which seems like such a short amount of time for how comfortable I am with it now. But when I first came back, my boyfriend would send me 5 workouts a week and would send small descriptions with each, which was incredibly helpful. I also did my own research with nutrition, but also with the exercises. I would always look up, and I still do this, I would sit on the floor in the gym being like, okay, tips on how to hinge your hips. And I would watch YouTube videos, I would read articles like T-Nation, bodybuilding.com, just a bunch of different websites that have great advice you can try and see if you like it. But yeah, so I would do 4 workouts a week and 1 HIIT workout, which was optional if I wanted to and had the time. The other workouts were 4 lifting sessions, and each session I would do 4 exercises, 1 squat variation, 1 hip hinge, 1 push, and 1 pull. Okay, don't mind my fingers. And the squat variation at the beginning, I don't know when I actually transitioned to barbell back squats, but at the very beginning I was only doing goblet squats really. I was just honestly still too intimidated to go up to the barbell back squat. And I actually remember the first time that I barbell back squatted at the RPAC, I went up to the bar, there was no weight on it or anything, but it was a notch like too high for me. And I like tried moving it and I couldn't, and I stood there in the rack, called my boyfriend, I was like, I don't know what to do, it's too high. He was like, what do you mean, like it's too high, like what do you mean you can't move it? It's like, I can't move it, I don't know what to do, I feel like an idiot, like and she was like, send me a picture. She's like, you just gotta move it down. I was like, I can't, and I literally left. I left, did goblet squats. So yeah, I actually think I went back the next week and actually completed back squats successfully, and it's really not that scary, but I know at the time it is that scary. Once you do it though, you just gotta keep doing it, and it gets better and better. Practice makes perfect. That was in January 2017, and I continued doing those workouts for the next like 6 months. I did see good results probably within the first 3 months especially. I saw a lot like a toning up. I lost the extra fat that I had gained the previous semester, which wasn't that much again, but it was some. And yeah, I was really happy about how I felt and how I looked, and I was really I was killing it. I came back in September. I decided I wanted to bulk up, build the booty a little. I started to do a bulk. So I didn't structure it at all. What I did do was, like, for dinner and lunch, I would get chicken and a bunch of other stuff, but I would get like a chicken breast at our dining halls. So when I started my bulk, I got 2 chicken breasts at lunch and dinner, and I just like basically upped my portions of stuff. Instead of having like a decent sized bowl of eggs in the morning. I had a full bowl of eggs and full bowl of fruit in the morning, and I just started, yeah, upping my portion sizes and not being as strict with myself with like snacking and just in general eating. So it'd be like, yeah, fuck, let's have ice cream today and tomorrow. Like, so I enjoyed it and I saw some really good results. I started out around like 137 and I bulked for 7 months and I gained 9 pounds. I can't do math, but yeah, I ended up around like I think I ended up around like 147, 148, and I felt really good about that. I felt like I gained like almost all muscle, keeping in mind I was still in my newbie gaining phase, so you gain a lot more muscle at the beginning of your lifting journey. I think a lot of it was muscle and I was very happy with that. It's now been like 1.5 years in since I stopped that bulk. Pretty much right after that I wanted to go into a cut, which was not the best thing to do. I was kind of in a tough place. I was going into the summer and I feel kind of more stressed at home than I do at college, just because of my environment and work, and I broke up with my boyfriend that summer and that was very hard, so trying to restrict myself on calories was not a great or smart thing to do. And that was probably the height of my binging, and I just really was not feeling good after I like tried cutting for like 2.5 weeks and was like, I don't need to do this anymore. Like, I'm over it. This is being a lot more detrimental to me than it is helpful. And so I stopped that. I was just like, I just want to eat normally again. It'll all be fine. I was still tracking, but yeah, it was just a lot of emotional eating. And I really just wasn't feeling that good about myself. But once I got back to school, I started feeling a lot better. My eating became better and things kind of fell back into place more so than they were. I also really wanted to start a fitness Instagram. That's who inspired me originally, was like Grace Fit UK, Megan Grubb, so many other beautiful women, and I just wanted nothing more than to have my own fitness Instagram and inspire other people and get more ladies into the weight room and get strong, baby. I made my Instagram and I only followed my very close friends and then waited till I had at least 500 followers to follow other people I knew. It's because I knew I would get some flack for it. And I was like, I'm not about that. I'll wait, because I know I can grow it. Now it's history, Aileen Fit. I would go through phases where I'd feel really motivated, then just not so much, but overall I stayed pretty consistent. I changed up my exercise or my workouts, and for a while I kept it to pretty basic, usually like 4 to 5 exercises. Somewhat more recently I started doing a few more exercises, but I actually just decided like 2 days ago that I'm going to start doing less exercises again, just because I feel like it's kind of like it's kind of burning me out, like doing a whole bunch of exercises at the gym and staying there for like forever. Like, it's just not my thing. Like, I want to get in there and get out. Like, I want to feel good, get some strength work in, and leave. I've definitely had quite a few ups and downs. My strength really does not go up very quickly anymore, but that's just what you get after lifting for a while. You know, you get all those newbie gains at first, and then it's a pretty slow process to gain strength from there. I do think I'm going to switch up my routine soon and maybe switch to a little bit more strength, or I don't know, just branch out a little bit. I do want to take some gym classes, do a little bit more fun things. I've always wanted to get into yoga, and I think I may try that. I'm always just like, I feel like I'm never doing the poses right. I'll be in class, I'm like, I think I'm gonna break my spine. Could you adjust me? But like, I'm not gonna say that and she's not gonna adjust me, so. Okay, I'm going to have to cut a lot out of this video because I talked so long. But I want to end with a few important points. Basically, I love lifting, if you couldn't tell. I think if you're afraid to do it, watch different YouTube videos, do some research online. There's great information out there. The internet is your best friend. If you're just starting out with weightlifting, like, buy someone's program. I have a program out there, but there's also a ton of free programs that you can get. You can, like, go on bodybuilding.com, go on, I don't know ones off the top of my head, but there's a lot of free lifting programs out there for beginners especially. You'll feel like you know what you're doing more in the gym, because I know it can be so overwhelming to just go in there and not know what the heck you're doing. Don't be afraid to read the labels on the machines. I still do that, but overall a guide is super helpful if you're just getting into lifting. You can go in the gym, have a little bit more of an idea of what you want to do or what you're going to do that day, and someone else has written it out for you. It's basically what I had, except it was like a personal trainer. Or just get yourself a boyfriend that lifts. But thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed going through my journey, and I hope you found this helpful or interesting or any of the above. And if you enjoyed watching this, please subscribe or like, comment, whatever you want to do. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.